Welcome. You are listening to the Sister Speak Show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action. A talk show for great minds that create, inspire, impact, and evolve. Sister, spiritual inspiration shared through the arts. Sister, spiritual inspiration shared through Ayana. But you better call me Sister Speak. How you living? How you breathing? How you vibing? Are you pressing through? Are you establishing your power? Have you established your boundaries? Are you making your yeses be yes and your nos be no? That's what's popping. How's your healing going? That's good to hear. I'm proud for you. Keep pressing through. I'm Sister Speak, and I am excited to be conversing with you this evening. You are tuned in to the Suspense Files, covering the who, what, when, where, why in urban crime. Welcome to my faithful listeners, and welcome to my first-time listeners. I thank you for choosing to download this episode on demand. Thank you for letting us be the flavor in your ear. Thank you for adding us to your podcast shuffle. To my first-time listeners, the Sister Speak Show is rated R for strong language, thoughts, and ideas. You've been warned, and that's the first and last warning. You'll find out exactly why we're rated R, but you'll enjoy the show. Two things that we want you to have in order for you to get into tonight's episode. You need water and scuba gear. Now, if you don't like water, you might as well click off, because I'm going to think you're a witch. And I'm going to definitely know that you're dehydrated. Listen, water is crucial to you being able to withstand the wiles of the enemy, physically and spiritually. You need clarification and you need cleansing. Your body is always needing healing, and it needs to have at least 75, it's made up of 75 to 95% of water, so you can't slack on that, okay? We don't spill the tea over here. We stay hydrated. 2. Scuba gear. Self-contained underwater breathing apparatus, because we dive into leagues of the sea, and we do not want you to get lost in our perspectives and in our conversations. I believe in solutions for the pollutions. I believe in picking up litter in the village. I am for the village, will not sell out the village, and will stay in the village. My soul will not be compromised. I'm a believer in the Most High God and His Son Yahweh Shai. And you? We don't do false gods over here, okay? We keep it 100% because we have no shame. You're going to be encouraged, and that's a good thing. Now listen, there are 8 segments that you can tune into on the Sister Speak Show network. That's why we can be the flavor in your ear, and that's why I thank you for adding us to your podcast shuffle. There's something that you will find that will be pleasing to your listening palate. We thank you in advance, and we expect you to stick around, okay? Now listen, where you been, Sister Speak? Here. Where you been? Now you already know, for those of you who will really care about Sister Speak, you already know how it is. If I have to go into war, I can't be on the microphone. If I'm in the cocoon, I can't be on the microphone. And so in this last season, after I did that last episode, the 53-year-old paternity secret, I had every expectation in my mind of coming right back that next week, dropping some more episodes, putting up some more episodes and keeping it pushing. But I also know that it is always Most High willing. So whatever He chooses, I just have to go with the flow. But I'm grateful to be here now. I truly miss you. And I know that you have made so much progress in your own healing, in your purging. I know that your heart is being cleansed. I know your spirit is being renewed. And I know that you are standing firmly within your boundaries. I know that you have made it up in your mind that your soul knoweth right well, and you're okay with your peace be still season. You're okay with your cocoon season. You're okay if you have to put on your whole armor. You're ready. You're stronger now than you were before. And it feels good, right? I know it does. And I want to give you this. While we have been apart, you know me and you was never part, my kitata. You already know. And I'm only speaking about color purple one. I don't know about no other color purple. All this time I spent learning them lines, and you got the nerve to come up with a color purple too? I think not. I think not. No, absolutely not. But anyway, I want to do this for you because this is appropriate. You have been doing so well on your healing journey. You have really, really made remarkable progress. And it's all praises due to the Most High God. So because you have been doing the work, this is what I'm going to do for you right here. That's what's up. You hear me? That's what's up. I'm giving you but listen, this is a fist bump from the microphone to you. Keep it pushing, okay? So let's get into it. You are tuned in to a segment called the Suspense Files. On the Suspense Files, we are covering the who, what, when, where, why in urban crime. Today's episode, whenever you're listening to it on demand, the bus stop murders. When tragedy strikes, public transportation, plus party bus nightmares. We're going to get into it. All audio clips are for fair use under the Copyright Act of 1976 for entertainment purposes only. Some people may call it edutainment, but this is for educational purposes only. For my people in the village to raise awareness about urban crime, the necessity to instill moral compasses in your home. How a recent mass shooting has left a community in Philadelphia once again struck with grief, having to bury yet another, seeking answers, demanding justice. Who did it? Do they have a lead? Will anybody speak? Are people still sticking to the snitches get stitches code, street code? Will there be another? Are you safe catching the bus? A lot of people have to catch the bus. That is a common mode of transportation in the Western world and abroad. All people want to do is just go home. All people want to do is get from point A to B to Z. It's enough to have to get on a bus in the first place, to have to endure the stops, the people, the smells, the sights, the this, the that, whatever it is. But it is a blessing because you're able to get to where you have to go to. But in that, you would like to ride in peace. In that, you don't want to have to enter into a state of panic. You don't want to have to encounter the spirit of chaos, calamity, crime, murder. You just want to make it to wherever your destination is. But there's a spirit lurking that has no moral compass, that is seeking whom it may devour, that is a fan of disrupting, that is enamored with distracting the normalcies of life. And the assailants, they're not old, not all of them, okay? But primarily there is a statistical imbalance when it comes to who is actually committing these crimes. And it happens to be a younger generation, a lost generation, a malnourished generation, a without hope generation. What do you mean without hope? Whitney Houston said that I believe the children are the future. Tevin Campbell said, I hope tomorrow will bring a better you, a better me. But I live in reality. Excuse me. And I cannot sit here and give you a brick with cotton candy on it. We don't do that here. The generation that is loose and without a moral compass seems to be without hope, unapproachable, without any type of remedy for whatever is tormenting them on the inside, that is causing them to loose themselves within the community and wreak havoc. Jealousy, envy, hate, pillow talking, he say, she say, mental illness, poverty, lack of parenting. What is the main ingredient in the bus stop murders? And it's not just striking the juveniles. Oh no, adults are being affected by it as well. We're going to get into it. I want you to be safe. I want you to not take your life for granted. I want you to know that there's more to life than partying and bullshitting. On the Suspense Files, we're covering the who, what, when, where, why in urban crime. Stay with me. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks. When it comes to urban crime, there are a set of questions that must be asked in order to find out what happened. And on the Suspense Files, we're covering the who, what, when, where, why in urban crime, focusing on betrayal, obsession, cold cases, stalking, love triangles, and more. Rated R for strong language, thoughts, and ideas. Some women think they're stepping in the name of love when they're actually stepping in the name of danger. Meeting a man who says all the right things, doing all the right things, masquerading as an angel of light, wanting access into the home, ready to be a father figure to your children because you're vulnerable, you're weak, you're desperate. He's charming. He's good at what he does. His past, you don't care about that because you're ready for your Mr. Right, even though he is Mr. Wrong. And things got different when he moved inside of the house. And he's not leaving anytime soon. Next on the Suspense Files, the step-boyfriend father. Rated R for strong language, thoughts, and ideas. You made up in your mind that once you got to Hollywood, nothing was going to stop you. You were going to be famous and you were going to get a star on the Walk of Fame. You were willing to do whatever it takes to get your record deal, even if it means exploiting your God-given talents, even if it means hanging out late night with the who's who. Some people don't even have talent, but they're willing to do whatever it takes to get on. And many find out what the D in record deal really stands for next on the tour, Surviving the Producer's Proposition.
Vision, sound, action, create, inspire, impact, evolve. You are now activated.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Sister Speak. The time is 7:58 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm recording from Dallas, Texas. It's about 56 degrees. Yes. So let's get into it. The bus stop murders, when tragedy strikes, public transportation plus party bus nightmares. Have you ever been on a party bus? I know you've seen the party buses, right? Seems like a safe night. Got your peoples on the bus. You know, what can go wrong? Nobody is planning for it to go wrong. Everybody just wants to have a good time. But there's always a or a group of demons. Demon time is real. People think that stuff is cute, throwing up the devil sign and the horns and sticking their tongue out and looking all crazy and demonic. That shit ain't cute. Demon time is not what's popping. Being with the shit in a low vibration is not what's popping. Premeditated destruction ain't what's up. Going on a killing spree and going to get some pizza afterwards is a little psychotic to me. Seeing a bunch of people crying and you're the reason why because you have committed such a heinous act and you're laughing is what we call possessed. And now your night, your event is ruined. We're going to get into it. I found clips that I know are going to bring this entire conversation full circle. It's going to give you what you need to know about what's going on if you happen to be listening internationally with some of the issues that we have going on out here in this world. On this side of the globe, if you will. And I just think that the disconnect that has taken place in the community and the blame shifting and the demand for action from just one specific group is not the answer. I will always say there are several ingredients that are required to fix it. Now, some of you say, oh, I can make a cake with 2 ingredients, and you're going to be eating that shit by yourself. What in the uneasy bake oven is this? Just saying. Just saying. Anyway, I don't know if I should save this for now or for later. I'm probably going to keep the mood. I'm going to keep the mood and we'll talk about it at the end. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and play these clips. These are for educational purposes only, as I aforementioned, under the Copyright Act of 1976. Now listen, due to me playing these clips, I am going to have to, react, because I just can't be playing stuff straight through. So I am going to have to do some reaction to it just to agree to some guidelines. Okay? All right, brothers and sisters, let's go ahead and get into it. The bus stop murders, when tragedy strikes public transportation, plus party bus nightmares, on the Suspense Files, covering the who, what, when, where, why in urban crime. I'm your host, Sister Speak. Who are you? A wonderful listening audience. Let's get it. Go ahead, finish it. Let's go.
Outrage is palpable from city leaders, neighbors, and bystanders after Philadelphia's latest mass shooting. 8 teenagers in the hospital in what feels like a constant repeated cycle. A desperate city is crying out for change.
This time, the victims were all high school students just waiting at the bus stop. Police may have found a break in the case overnight. The action cam was on the 400 block of Rosalind Street in the Olney neighborhood. Detectives confiscated a blue Hyundai Sonata parked on a residential block. The vehicle matches the suspected getaway vehicle from the shooting captured on surveillance. Police tell us the vehicle was taken to an impound lot overnight.
In that surveillance video released by police, 3 suspects can be seen exiting the Sonata. They open fire on the group at 5 points in the Burholm section of the city and quickly flee the area.
We have team coverage of this mass shooting. Catherine Scott has the stories of bystanders who stepped in to help and what may have motivated the bloodshed.
But first, we're going to begin with Action News reporter Corey Davis, who's live from the mass shooting scene at Cottman and Rising Sun Avenues. Good morning, Corey.
Tam and Matt, good morning. So much grieving among the families of those victims as well as those who are just in the neighborhoods experiencing this. But in the meantime, officials are angry about it. They're asking for a community to help them as they work to solve these crimes.
We said this multiple times. I asked every parent today, go in those rooms and look under those tables and look under those closets and get those guns out of the house.
Now listen. Right there, I must stop. First of all, students standing at the bus stop. You're at the bus stop. And it's a regular day. And to have to be met with rounds of gunfire, caught off guard, ambush style, execution style. How much more tragedy must we continue to inflict upon each other, young people? And then here we go, we're listening to the police chief say, look, you need to go in there and you need to look underneath the mattresses and get the guns. But the thing is, some of these parents are afraid of their child. Some of them don't even want to be parents. So this is a good solution, but will it actually be executed? Will parents actually be sober and vigilant and actually say enough is enough and actually go toe-to-toe with the spirit that is in their home and literally take back their home? Or turn their house into a home. Because it is only in a home where a foundation is laid, rules are laid, training up is a lifestyle. But these guns, they are loose. And they are automatic weapons. And they are in the rooms and in the cars and behind the trap houses and this and the that. They're there. But are the parents willing to do what was just asked of them to do?
Right? Because at the end of the day, many of these kids are coming from the same communities that they're shooting at. Right? And they know who they are. And the community knows who they are. We can't do this by ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Philadelphia police say 8 students from Northeast High School were shot yesterday afternoon at around 3 o'clock while they were waiting on a SEPTA bus at the bus stop. This is at the intersection of Cottman and Rising Sun Avenue in Burholm. Surveillance video shows the 3 shooters getting out of the car next to the Dunkin' Donuts. They run up to the large group of kids with book bags who were just walking to the bus as those shooters started firing guns. The suspects then ran back to the Hyundai Sonata and drove off. More surveillance video shows the suspect speeding away in that dark blue Sonata, which sources say was stolen. So Highway Patrol officers found the vehicle at around 11 o'clock last night after putting out a description. The action cam was there along the 400 block of Rosalind Street in the city's Olney section as police collected evidence and then impounded the car. So the next step, of course, is to track down those who are responsible for the shooting. The district attorney is involved in that. Once they are arrested, we'll have more from the DA as well as other city officials in the next half hour. Reporting live here in Burholm, Corey Davis, Channel 6 Action News.
All right, thank you, Corey. Now let's go on over to Action News reporter Catherine Scott. She's live at Einstein Medical Center, which is one of the hospitals where some of those injured teens are being treated after that mass shooting. Good morning, Catherine. Good morning, Tam. After those 8 teens were shot, they were taken to area hospitals, including here in Einstein. We're hearing that 6 are in stable condition, 2 remain in critical condition. The victims are all students at Northeast High School, which will switch to virtual learning for the rest of the week. When those shots were fired, people nearby came running to help.
Ran out.
Listen, you might as well switch to virtual learning for the rest of the year. I'm not coming back. I've had it with this bus stop. I've had it with this school. I've had it with tragedy. I can't do this anymore. You know, it's more than just a week. These children have been rocked with so much trauma. You know, I mean, we all experience trauma, okay? In some form, some shape, at some season or seasons in our life. And some are able to process it, some you have to learn how to process it, and some just don't. And these youth have experienced a lot of heavy, I'm going to say heavy ambushing of trauma, and are targeted to be puppets, to just sponges that have been almost sacrificed for evil and have been sacrificed to be exposed to things that just desensitize them. And so, yeah, you can shut it down for a week. Good going. Cool. At least you realize that we need to let the bus stop cool off, the school cool off. We need to figure this out in order to avoid retaliation, more mass shootings. We need to go ahead and hunker down. Call this, just wrap this shit on up. But I really think that I'm just telling you, like, I'm not sending my child back. We're going to have to do virtual learning all year, and let's kind of pull back on talking about trigonometry and history and science and all this other stuff. And how about we maybe quickly usher in a curriculum of social skills, a curriculum about danger? How about we just really take maybe the next 3 months and really plant some seeds of morality into the youth? How about we just stop with the extra stuff, these subjects, and really deal with the subject matter? How about we just stop it? You can bring the DARE program in. That's cool. That's cute and everything. But I dare you to actually implement something that will work for them, that they can be equipped with to maneuver in society. Oh, can't do that, right? Because if you do that, then that will actually clean up the situation. Then we won't be able to impose the gentrification and the genocide, and we won't be able to, continue with our strategic plan to dismantle the village. We cannot teach these children morality because we know nothing of it ourselves. So we're just going to give them a week off and let the gunpowder cool off and, fly away in the wind. And we'll be back here teaching them stress, frustration. We'll be imposing standards and benchmarks and tests upon them. And we'll continue to adhere to this school district code of ethics, and eventually it'll all go away, right?
Over to the scene, just saw a whole bunch of kids laying on the ground with various gunshot wounds. Fatherly instinct and military instinct kicked in, so it was, aid and assist.
He was shot in his back, like right here at his spine. And I put pressure on it. There's a lady on the phone with 911 telling him, because he was sitting up, they told him to lay on his belly so we could stop the blood. I looked over and there was 4 other kids laying down.
Surveillance video capturing the sounds of the rapid gunfire yesterday.
That sounded like a war. That sounded like I was listening to a documentary on BBC. Now, who the fuck do you hate that much that you would shoot off 30 rounds, 30 plus rounds like that at a group? And then one of the students got hit 9 times. Who do you hate that much? What is it about this individual that all 3 of you dusty niggas got out of the car? And it wasn't even your car. You done stole a car to go to the bus stop to end somebody's life that you don't like. And they said the H was missing off the Hyundai. And they still found the car anyway. You niggas is meant to get caught. One way or the other, because street justice does happen. Not encouraging it, but we know how this goes. Did you hear that round? Did you hear those rounds? Who do you hate that much? Why? Those shots are still probably ringing in a lot of people's ears right now. Can't sleep, waking up screaming, in pain. Never want to go back to school again. Never want to see a bus again. Boy, the devil is busy, isn't he? Isn't it? Man, the plans to literally annihilate the village. This is disgusting. This is absolutely disgusting. And it's almost like I feel like, goes back to what I said. And, this is, like I said, this is a bold podcast. So you're going to hear it like it is. I literally feel like some of these little niggas was conceived at the Red Roof Inn. I mean that. Like, it's just like, I will always say, like, some people don't need to have sex and don't need to have babies. Period.
Afternoon, people who live and work nearby dropped what they were doing and came running. 8 students from Northeast High shot while waiting at a SEPTA stop in Burholm. 7 boys and 1 girl between the ages of 15 and 17 taken to area hospitals. Police are investigating the motive and working to determine if the shooting is connected to the quintuple shooting that happened on Monday in Ogons, where a 17-year-old from Imhotep Charter was killed while waiting for a SEPTA bus stop. 2 other Imhotep students were injured, as were 2 passengers sitting on the bus. Yesterday, as some community members helped the shooting victims, others, like staff at Quaker Diner, helped the students who witnessed this trauma.
Some of the kids came in here and tried to keep them calm and, you know what I mean, until their parents could get as close as they could get here to come and get them. We send them out to go to school and we think that they're safe, and you just never know what's going to happen.
It's very frightening. This doesn't happen here. We have so many young children here. And this seems to be an ongoing trend now with the teenagers. And it's not what neighborhood you live in anymore. It's just the world we live in. Something's got to change.
And counselors will be available today at Northeast High School to help students as they process all this trauma. We are live at Einstein. Catherine Scott, Channel 6 Action News.
It does seem so chaotic out there. Thank you, Catherine. Use the free
that do stuff like this.
Anger near
Nonsense. It's all nonsense. And there's a bunch of cowards that do stuff like this.
Anger near Ogonson Godfrey this afternoon.
Investigators say 2 gunmen fired more than 50 shots at 15 to 20 people standing at a bus stop. Surveillance video shows the moments right after, as you can see some running for their lives. Officers tell NBC 10 at least 1 gunman had an automatic weapon, shooting a 17-year-old dead. School leaders confirm the student went to nearby Imhotep Charter School.
We're never fortunate when we lose a child, a particular 17-year-old. But if you look around here, how busy this intersection is, a daycare across the street, and then multiple people on the bus, and multiple rounds being fired, it could have been much worse.
Police say a SEPTA bus rolled up and stopped at the same time the gunman targeted the teen. 4 others were shot, including 2 on the bus and 2 teens at the bus stop. According to investigators, the bus driver sped away and headed to 16th and Champlos. More surveillance video shows riders running from the bus for safety once it stopped near the intersection.
We started hearing screaming and all the commotion, and then all the kids start running out.
This all went down just yards away from a daycare center. We saw families coming to get their loved ones while staring at the aftermath across the street.
I'm really getting frightened now, for real, for real. You know what I mean? Hey, it could have been inside the school. I've been coming out picking them up like I am now, and it happens all of a sudden.
Thanks for watching.
And another thing, you heard a key verb, running. Some of you have not run in a long time. Some of you have not had a meeting with your body about physical activity in a long time. And some of you young people, if any young people are listening to this podcast, some of you young people, your jeans are tighter than tight. I will always say your jeans are made with a hymen. So in that, I don't know where you niggas is running, where y'all running to. I don't know how far you think you're going to get in them tight jeans that you wear, that you sag in with a fake Gucci belt on. I don't know where y'all running to. I looked at, I don't know if you could even call it running. Let me tell you something. I'm from the generation where we used to run, we used to play, we used to have physical activity. We took PE seriously. We didn't fuck around when it came to PE, and we damn sure didn't play when it came to recess. We were all in. And we even took it upon ourselves to play in the summertime. So athleticism and physical activity is something that we were used to. In this day and age, the Taki age, the hot Cheeto age, the age where we don't care. We're gonna ingest what we don't care. We eat tire irons. We eat, WD-40. We don't care. No, but seriously, y'all are not in a position to get far if a tragedy would strike. When tragedy strikes. Not only that, you young girls with long fingernails and all this other stuff, and you're too busy on your phone. This younger generation is a target for not being able to escape when tragedy strikes. A disaster waiting to happen. How do you run when you're not used to running? How do you get away when your clothes prevent you from having enough agility and ability and flexibility to get to where you gotta go? Oh man, the police hating on me. No, nigga, your pants are hating on you. That's who's hating on you, nigga. It's them tight pants. Your pants snitched on you, buddy.
Involving teenagers in the city. A 14-year-old grazed by a bullet when shots rang out while he was getting on board an MTA bus in Harlem. Police say the boy was targeted and are now looking into whether it was gang-related. Lisette Nunez live at the scene in Harlem with the latest on the investigation and the search for who did it. Lisette.
Steve, and the violence happened as the 14-year-old teenager went ahead and hopped on the MTA bus. And right now, police believe this was a targeted shooting. Police swarming an MTA bus stop at the corner of Lenox Avenue and 139th Street in Harlem after a shooting involving a 14-year-old.
While the bus was picking up
and discharging passengers, a 14-year-old male was getting onto the front of the entrance of the bus. Another male begins to shoot at the 14-year-old as he was boarding the bus.
The shooting happened around 10 in the morning. Video shows where the bullet pierced the bus's windshield. The 14-year-old was grazed in the head by a bullet. The bus driver suffered minor injuries to his hand from broken glass. Police say the suspect ran away after opening fire, and MTA officials tell us the incident could have ended much worse.
The bus operator barrier, the metal bar on the bus operator barrier, stopped one of the bullets, which otherwise could have had really serious consequences.
Both the 14-year-old and the bus driver were taken to the hospital and are expected to recover from their injuries. Police are looking through surveillance video as they continue to look for a suspect. Meanwhile, MTA reassuring riders that safety is their priority.
What I want to reiterate here to our customers and to our employees is that the bus and subway system is safe. This year we carried over 270 million trips, virtually with no incident.
And police were asked whether they believe the shooting was gang-related. Investigators say that's something they are looking into. We are live in Harlem with Seth Nunez, Fox 5 News. Steve, back over to you.
They're not asking the right questions. And that's why on the Suspense Files, we're covering the who, what, when, where, why in urban crime. Why don't you try to see if it was demon related? Talking about gang related. It's always gang related. Get out of here with that shit. This is demon related, but you don't want to deal with that. Let me explain something to you all. When it comes to crime, when it comes to cleaning up, when it comes to actually caring about what's going on in the inner and outer cities, you need to know this. Politicians, senators, congressmen, those are the sorts who are in position to make power. If they have cremated their cares, tragedy will continue to have its way. It's one thing to make promises to people that you're going to do certain things if you get elected and this, that, and the third. But then when you get there, it's donde está? Like, where are you? What's going on? You said this, you said that, but there's no change. Do you even care? And that's when you have to start wondering, well, did they cremate their cares? What's really going on? If you want to know if there's been a cremation, of a care, then just look at how much crime is ridden in the city. How much tragedy continues to pile up in the city. Then you start looking at certain buildings that are in place to serve and do this and provide this and help with this and help with that. Is there corruption? Is there something off? Is there money, but it's just not making its way to the specific avenues and alleys that it needs to make its way to because it's on a resort somewhere or on an island somewhere or in a hotel somewhere or on a first class trip somewhere? Just asking. What about bulletproof buses? Is there enough money in the budget? Because I know that each city, each state, there's a certain amount of money. I just want to know where is it? Where's it going? 14-year-old boy shot by someone probably in his peer group. And for what? What? Demon time. It is demon time. The bus stop murders, the bus stop attempted murders, this is out of control. And it happens all over. All over. Whether it makes the news or not, it happens. Lying in wait, a sitting duck in most incidences, in most cases. And you can't even do anything about it. If this is your mode of transportation, the only way you're able to get to where you have to go, you're a target. And that's not fair to you. It is completely unfair to you that you have to have your peace in your life compromised because you don't know if somebody with the shit on demon time is about to bend a corner in a stolo with a stolo because they got beef, anger issues, whatever it is, and they finna let loose, and you just trying to get home or get to work, get to lunch, your doctor's appointment, take your child to school, whatever it is. That is not healthy. That is the pollution in the village that needs a solution. And it can't just come from one physical place or entity in the community. It most certainly requires more than one. It is a collective effort as well as an individual effort. It is a per home basis, per house basis, per facility basis. Imagine only 2 or 3 wanting the change, being surrounded by a bunch of people that don't care. Oh yeah, they'll cry on TV. Oh, they'll look real concerned on TV, but yet and still and yet, they don't care.
All right, thanks, Lisette.
Shooting of a 14-year-old boy last Thursday at a Harlem bus stop. Police are hoping new surveillance video will lead them to the gunman. The suspect fired 2 rounds at the teenager as he was getting on the M1 bus at West 139th Street and Lenox Avenue. The boy was grazed in the left side of the head and was taken to Harlem Hospital in stable condition. The bus driver narrowly missed getting shot as well. Police say the suspect then fled on foot. A 14-year-old boy is recovering after being shot at a bus stop in Queens. Police released this surveillance video showing a white car drive up and someone shoot the teenager. It happened yesterday afternoon at the corner of Beach 31st Street and Seagirt Boulevard in Far Rockaway at about 1:30. Investigators say the boy was hit several times in the leg. He was taken to Long Island Jewish Medical Center in stable condition. So far, no arrests.
It's scary. It seems like it's happening more and more.
People in Bellevue telling KDKA they're shocked after hearing that a young mother was shot and killed at her bus stop last night. Megan Schiller talked to people paying their respects at that bus stop at Lincoln and Sheridan Avenues as police continue to search for the killer.
She just wanted to catch her bus home from work, but police say someone murdered 28-year-old Rachel Dowden as she stood right here. The police tape is still in the trash can, and now investigators are working quickly to try to find her shooter.
It's horrible. It makes you not want to walk, do anything through here.
Jackie Miller's lived in Bellevue 35 years, and she's heartbroken. She placed this colorful bouquet, even though she doesn't even know the victim.
I feel horrible. So young to be shot and then you're deceased. And having kids and, it's horrible.
Someone shot 28-year-old Rachel Dowden several times. Paramedics rushed the young mother to the hospital, but she died. We counted countless cameras at the intersection where it happened, and investigators now work to track down who did this.
Many cop cars, and then we just try to figure out what's going on outside, and then one of my employees, he told me that someone is laying on the ground.
Nearby business owner Turgay Turkman opened his pizza shop 2 years ago. He tells me he's shocked by the violence.
It can be anything, there are sick people around, so you should be careful outside.
Nearby business owners and residents say that they hope all of the cameras in this area help police when it comes to footage of who did this. She did work just a few blocks down the street at the Cricket store, but all of her co-workers didn't want to talk about what happened. Reporting in Bellevue tonight, Megan Schiller, KDKA News.
We have new details now at noon. Gunfire in Florida City just after 4 this morning. Florida City Police was called to 254 Southwest 344th Street for a woman who was shot. Police found a woman in her 40s bleeding from gunshot wounds. She was pronounced dead there at the scene. Police are calling this a domestic incident, and Miami-Dade homicide investigators have now taken over this investigation.
Taking a turn now, family.
Like I said, you just want to go home. You don't have a car. Car may be in the shop, or, may not have a license. License may be suspended. Whatever the circumstances are, you have to catch the bus. And in order to get to where you have to go, you may have to be at the bus stop at 4 a.m., 5, 6, when it's still dark. And if you're the only person at the bus stop, that can be rather nerve-wracking. Most definitely have to keep your head on the swivel. And you can't wait for the bus to come, because at least you are, off the street, and you don't have to worry about what or who is lurking in the dark. And it's a risk that you have to take because you need to make your money or whatever it is that you have to do. But more than likely, anybody out there at that time, they're trying to get to work. But demon time, it's almost like it's round the clock, right? And then you have the element of surprise upon you. And there won't be any more mornings that you are going to be taking the bus because somebody decided to take your life. The bus stop murders, when tragedy strikes public transportation. What do you say? What do you do? The family has to get the news. The police have to come onto the scene, and the assailant is sitting there grossly satisfied with the tragedy. Having to do what you have to do requires strength. And putting yourself in dangerous situations in order to continue to make sure that your welfare is intact is a lot, but you still have to do it. There's no answer, honestly, that one could give outside of the fact that in this world, there is good and there is evil.
And friends of Sade Payne, the woman who was shot and killed at a bus stop in North Columbus last week, are coming together to mourn her death. NBC4's Jonathan Jackson is there, where he spoke with Payne's loved ones who gathered in her honor. Jonathan.
That's right, Jennifer. Here at the 3600 block of Mays Road is where police found Payne's body last week, and no suspect information has been identified yet. Over here on my shoulder, as you can see, there's a small memorial here put up by friends and family in her honor, and they're asking people in the community to speak up if they saw anything. Now, Payne's family tells me she was more than just another victim of gun violence in this city, saying she was a mother, daughter, friend, and businesswoman right here in Columbus. And tonight, they're asking for answers and justice for her death.
This shouldn't not be covered up. It shouldn't be. And I know that I can't, no matter what I do, I can't bring my sister back. But what can we do to make sure it doesn't happen again?
Now, again, police have no suspect information in this case yet, but they are asking the public to please speak up if they saw or heard anything. Local for you in Columbus, I'm Jonathan Jackson, NBC4.
Here from Florida City, a hard-working mother of four was gunned down as she waited for a bus to take her to work early this morning. And now her family says it was her son
who shot her. Local 10's Glenna Milberg spoke exclusively with the victim's daughter, and she joins us live now with more. Glenna.
Calvin, what?
So this is a follow-up to the previous, not the one that you just heard, but the one before that about the woman who was at the bus stop and was killed. Now we're finding out that it was her son. You know, let's just listen.
This family is going through right now. They live just a few blocks away from the bus stop where it happened, and this young woman confided in me that they have been trying to get some sort of psychological or mental help for her brother and have been unable to, but never saw indications of such violence.
Okay, right off the bat, that is like a contradiction in your comment. You've been trying to get him help for a long time, but you never ever saw any levels of violence. And I'm paraphrasing that last part. So then what was the help for? What exactly had you seen him do that made you feel like he needed some help? Some psychological help at that. I mean, you just don't come up with that conclusion unless you've seen something that's off, something that does not add up, something that makes you say, don't leave me alone in the room with him. Something that makes you say, hey, I don't think we should piss him off today. What was it that he had been doing that made you say, we need to get him some help? And how much were you doing? How much due diligence were you actually doing to get him some help? Nobody picked up the phone? You weren't able to get a hold of a Yellow Pages? You couldn't Google anything? There's no Health and Human Services Development Department in your local area? There is no 911 on your phone? There's no county health agency round about the corner? No social workers in the area? Adult protective services, perhaps? I'm just saying, though, there were signs that he was loose as far as his thinking, that he was on demon time, and y'all sitting around in slow motion. There's no sense of urgency, obviously, and now there's a tragedy that has struck the family, and y'all walking around with your hands on your hips, putting your hands on your forehead, trying to figure it out. And I'm looking at the clip, and it's like 15 of y'all on the porch, and you mean to tell me all of y'all together could not figure out what needed to be done, who you needed to call to get your brother some help so he wouldn't remain loose on that demon time? It's the shrugging of the shoulders for me. It's the lack of urgency for me. Your house is on fire. It is? Yes. You need to get out now before you burn up. Burn up? Yes. My house is on fire? It is. Is that what that smell is? I don't know how long we're supposed to really engage in this. Normally, when folks hear that their house is on fire, they leave. They actually receive the help and get out, but you don't care? Well, I mean, I know that my house is on fire, but I mean, I tried to call the fire department, but I couldn't get nobody to pick up. The hell?
was joyful and loving, just like this, her family says all the time.
Mom is the life of the party.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Okay, so you're playing the videos of her being the life of the party. She's laughing and screaming, hee hee and ha ha. But meanwhile, I'm still stuck on the fact that you had been trying to get him some help for a long time. So, okay.
And the sudden shock of grief for her sudden death today is compounded for this family because her youngest son, about to turn 21, Andrew, is the one they say shot her.
Shots fired, and my stepdad is uncontrollable, and now my mom is dead. Why?
Loretto Bruno did today what she did 6 days a week. At the bus stop, Palm Drive at the Busway, 4 a.m. for the 2-hour trip to the Keys Resort, where she worked housekeeping 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Her family's support in so many ways.
She loved her kids so much. She's a hard worker. She worked for those kids.
The family thinks Andrew was at the bus stop too with a gun they did not know he had. They do talk of his mental roller coaster these last years and the help they tried so hard to get him.
Lies.
We kept asking him, did he wants us to find a psychiatrist? I found
Do you want us to help you find a psychiatrist? This is why word problems have always not been everybody's forte in math. Because when you're actually presented with a word problem, you don't know what to do. You don't know how to figure it out. You don't know how many apples they had, how many oranges they had. You ask somebody who's on an emotional roller coaster, if they're not, how are they in their right mind, their wherewithal to be able to put it together to say, yes, I need help, or help me. Like this is something that's very off-putting, particularly about this situation. How hard did you try? Because when you try hard, you get results. The failure factor is less likely. So I'm not understanding this. And this lady is going on a bus 2 hours away to work. And her son is at the bus stop with a gun and kills her. I really, really, really want to know what's up. Something is off. And you cannot be afraid to make decisions that create a sense of peace and safety for your home. Okay? You got to stop going to, listen, that oil that you got that you think is holy, it might not be working. Especially if it's some blessed oil that you paid $29.99 for. If that's what you've been trying to put on him, that's why. I'm wondering what's really going on. Because there's no way, shape, or form somebody on an emotional roller coaster is not going to get the help that they need, or I'm not going to try, or we, as many people's in that house, there's no way, shape, or form. I'm going to make sure I do what I can do. I'm pretty good with my due diligence to get you placed somewhere quickly. Because I'm not going to be sleeping with my doors double, triple, quadruple locked with my Chester drawer up against the door because you're loose in the house with your roller coaster. Because your demon time is always punched in, clocked in. Now I got to sleep on the roof because you're loose in the house.
Therapists, I found everybody, and they were saying he didn't want to go.
At the family's home a few blocks.
He didn't want to go. He didn't want to go. They kept saying he didn't want to go. He said that he didn't want to go. That's why. That is why there's so much pollution in the village and no solutions. Very little solutions. That's why there's so much litter, so much demon time, because he didn't want to go. How did she get to be the spokesperson for the family? Out of all the people, how did she get to be loose in front of the camera? Well, he said that he didn't want to go. So I guess your mother had to go then, right? Because that's what happened. As a result of him not wanting to go, your mother ended up having to go. And that's what I call dropping the ball. That's what I call not giving a damn. That's what I call cremating your own cares because he didn't want to go. Hey, 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 do you want to go? I don't want to go. Well, he said that he don't want to go.
Blocks away, detectives converge to comb for evidence. Loretta's daughter, Wilta, points out the tree at the end of the block where she says police found her brother hiding. And they did watch.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? He's in the tree. Where is he? Over there. Where? In the tree. Are you serious? Yeah, he's in the tree. I've had it with this family. This is me. If I were in the family, that would be my epiphany that this is no longer my family. Hey, Sister Speak, where's your brother? He's in the tree. He's in the fucking tree. That's where he is. That's where he always is. I can't do this anymore. I'm out. Whatever you need me to sign, whatever you need me to testify, how do I emancipate myself from this family? I mean, I know you're here investigating what happened, but like, how do I get free from this? Because I can't do this. I want help. I want to go. If he doesn't want to go, I'll go. I will go in his place. Just, is there any way that when you all wrap this investigation up, you could take me with you? Please. I want to go. Because why is it that you want to go again? Because he's in the tree. That's why. Because he's in the fucking tree. And I can't do this anymore. I want to be somebody in life. And I don't want to be associated with the demon time that is loose in this family. I don't want this. I am here to break the generational curse. And the only way that I can break this generational curse, because I don't want to end up in the tree either. Because it's obvious it's loose in the family. I got to go. If you could, just please, just when y'all wrap this up, please let me go with you. I can't do this no more. And plus, my sister's name is Wilta. That's another reason why I want out this family. Because I feel like my mom, I want to leave because of Wilta and because of my brother in the tree. That's why. They found him in the tree, y'all. Where is he? Over there. Where? Look up. Well, I'll be damned. There he go. Just look up. There he is, right there. Yep. My ex-brother. You and me will always part. My key father.
As police took Andrew into custody, what he might be charged with, that is an unanswered.
And do know that I am not making light of murder. I'm not making light of the killing. I'm not making light of any of that. I'm just speaking.
Question among many. I'm Glenna Milberg, live in Florida City today, Local 10 News. Developing right now, a would-be robber is taken by surprise. His target, a woman alone at a bus stop. She pulls a gun and fires. CBS 2's Roseanne Tejas is live in the Fernwood neighborhood, and Roseanne, that somebody died. That's right, he was pronounced dead at the hospital. Police say he was a teen with a gun who picked the wrong target, and it cost him his life. Surveillance video was rolling, surveillance cameras rolling in this area when it happened. When we show you that video, look to the right of your screen.
I'm glad that she fought back.
because I'm glad that we're not reading about her on a slab somewhere.
Surveillance video shows the woman waiting alone at a bus stop at 103rd and Wallace. Suddenly, she's on the ground as a man runs around the corner. She then takes off running down the middle of the street.
We're getting shots fired at 103rd normal.
Police say the 19-year-old suspect had displayed a gun and announced a robbery when the victim, a concealed carry license holder, fired her own gun. Residents seeing the investigation.
A fuck around and find outer.
And hearing what happened, said she did what she had to do.
In this day and age, they don't care whether or not you're a senior saint or you're middle age or you're a child. If they pull a gun on you, they intend to hurt you in some way or take everything that you have worked for.
I'm kind of proud that, that's what she did, because she stuck up for herself.
We don't owe the offender anything.
Police say the suspect was found a block away with a gunshot wound to the neck. He was transported to Christ Hospital, where he later died. We still don't know the identity of the woman. We do not believe she was hurt. And while residents here say it was very tragic that a young man lost his life here this morning, they have nothing but support for the woman who police say was acting in self-defense. Live in the Fernwood neighborhood this morning, Roseanne Tejas, CBS 2 News. Marissa, Aaron.
All right, Roseanne, thank you.
Story on action.
I want to encourage all of my people who have to go out and use public transportation, whether it be in the wee hours or not, that you have some form of protection with you. That you have bear spray, that you have pepper spray, that you have a knife, a gun, whatever it is. Now, let me explain something to you. If you are the type that like to throw lilies as a form of, I won't use lilies. If you like to throw pine cones, or if, you want to talk about it, we're not in that day and age where we're able to sit down and have conflict mediation with most people. So it would behoove you to make sure that you are protected and you have weapons round about you in the closest proximity to your person, and that you not be afraid to use it. It's either you or them. You better know that. It's either you or them. And you cannot be out at that time with your phone out, with your music all in your ears, stargazing, unaware of your surroundings. You need to look like you will throw shit on somebody. You need to look crazier than the person on Demon Time. It's your safety mechanism. I know you're not. I know not in any normal circumstance, you're not going to take feces and throw it on somebody, but you better look like you will. You better hope that the look on your face should have whoever's on Demon Time be like, hey, nah, they look like they might throw some shit on me. I'm good. You know what I mean? You need to look like when they try to come for you, that you've got weapons round about you and you need to look like it. You understand me? It's either you or them. Kudos to that woman who was able to defend herself and not freeze. It's really sad that brother lost his life. 19? It wasn't worth it. It was not worth it. I remember when Sophia told Celie not to stab Albert, Mister. She's like, don't do it. Don't do it. He ain't worth it. Don't trade places with what I've been through. That jail time did something to her. Gave her time to think. And she became an advocate of think first before you act. Mm.
News at noon is breaking news. Philadelphia police have announced charges against the woman accused of shooting and killing a SEPTA bus driver traveling through Germantown.
And police say 21-year-old Zonte Capers has been charged with murder as well as other related offenses. 48-year-old Bernard Gribben from Abington was shot 6 times yesterday morning at Green Street and Queen Avenue. Safety remains a major concern for SEPTA employees. Many are still coming to terms with what happened while in the midst of tense contract negotiations.
Action News reporter Becca Hendrickson is live outside the Wyndham Hotel in Old City, where both sides are still trying to find common ground ahead of next week's strike deadline. Becca.
Sarah and Corey, both sides understand the gravity of this deal and its impact. More than 650,000 Philadelphians rely on SEPTA every single day. They've been at the negotiating table for days now behind me in the Wyndham Hotel, and those talks could last through the weekend and into early next week.
A lot of times these talks do go down to the wire.
Time is winding down for SEPTA and its largest workers union to get a deal done or face the consequences of a strike, which could begin Wednesday.
What would happen if there...
What I don't understand is, like, why don't y'all want to pay people what they need to get paid so they can make it? Don't you understand that this is a dangerous job? Don't you understand that people have to go through Camp Crystal? These bus drivers are driving through Camp Crystal Lake every fucking day, picking up all forms of Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, and Freddy Cougars, having to pass through all kind of thriller video sets and shit like that. And you don't want and have to endure some of the funkiest smells and walk by air situations and all kind of just vulgarities and just various forms of disrespect. And y'all sitting up there on how many days, how many weeks, and you can't get it together and negotiate and have something within your heart be softened to where these people can get paid what they can get paid, to where they don't have the end of it like this man did, where he got 6 in the middle of the strike. This is reason 5,982 why we need help, more pay, and a stronger this and a stronger that and more backing, and we need to be safe. And here it is, a prime example. One of your own bus drivers ends up getting murdered in Germantown by a woman, a sister, no doubt, loose, shot him 6 times for what? And you are sitting there, can't come together for a number that would be solid for these people. Meanwhile, they are literally driving through lava every day. It's enough to even drive something that big in the first place and have to navigate through all that energy. Shame on the SEPTA. Shame on the people who were taking so long to get the SEPTA bus drivers and employees what they needed. Shame on you for having those negotiations go so long. And change your name. SEPTA reminds me of a septic tank. Maybe that's why there's so much drama and chaos. Get rid of that name and give it something else. I'm just saying, though. SEPTA. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. It doesn't make any sense.
There's a strike is within the city of Philadelphia. We would not be running any bus, subway, or trolley service.
That affects more than 650,000 passengers per day in 55,000 school district of Philadelphia students who rely on the transportation to get to class. Both sides have been back at the negotiation table trying to agree on a new contract for Transport Workers Union 234. The core issues: wages, benefits, work roles, and safety.
That is a bigger discussion, so it's, there wouldn't be anything specific in the contract that could address all those concerns, but it's an important discussion to have.
This coming on the heels of a murder on a bus Thursday when a SEPTA bus driver, 48-year-old Bernard Gribben, was shot and killed by a passenger in Germantown. The union once again called for the National Guard to get involved for safety. Meanwhile, passengers are worried about the impacts of a strike.
It's going to be crazy. I don't have a car. I don't drive. It's going to be crazy.
My wheelchair takes me anywhere, okay? But it's just going to be terrible.
And Corey, as the city braces for a strike, SEPTA is encouraging people to look at regional rail schedules to see if that's a viable alternative. Live here in Old City, Becca Hendrickson, Channel 6, Action News. Corey?
Yeah, this could certainly impact a lot of people. We know you'll stay on top of it, Becca. Thank you.
On the hunt for the person who tried to kidnap a 2-year-old at a bus stop, and as KTVU's Henry Lee reports, police say the man also attacked the child's mother.
Take a good look at these images. Oakland police say this man tried to kidnap a 2-year-old child at the High Street AC Transit bus stop. It happened about 12:30 Tuesday afternoon at the bus stop near 45th and International.
Yeah, I saw the guy. Stand up here doing something, but I was...
Angelica Gonzalez owns a hair salon across from the bus stop. She says she heard a commotion.
When the guy was stand up, saying something to the lady.
Police say the man tried several times to take the toddler and then physically assaulted the child's mother.
Someone was yelling at the guy, stop, saying stop. One guy say something to the guy, and the guy ran away.
Authorities say the would-be kidnapper took off after a Good Samaritan came to the family's aid.
It's not safe. It feels so comfortable because you don't know when something bad is going to happen to you. And you're just waiting for a bus.
We caught up with 12-year-old Melissa Solis and her mother before they got on a bus.
Pues ya me preocupa un poco de lo que está pasando.
Her mother told us she's worried for her daughter's well-being because she takes the bus every day to and from school.
She is feeling like a parent, it's uncomfortable for her because she's believing that the kid's going to be safe going to a place. And it's really stressful.
Police described the man as Latino, 40 to 50 years old, about 5'10", and weighing 280 pounds. He was wearing this blue Cali hat. This is a very busy bus stop in the middle.
That little girl said a lot. It's really stressful waiting for a bus, not knowing if something's going to happen to you. And being at a bus stop with your young child and having somebody to attempting to kidnap your child has got to be almost, close to almost giving you a heart attack. And then having the adrenaline rush and to fight back and, to protect your child, it's a lot to embrace. And you're just trying to catch the bus. These predators, they're everywhere. And mental illness is plaguing a lot of people. And it is almost like it's being magnified. It's just the strangest phenomenon going on with these bus stops, and how a simple mode of transportation that is designed to be simple, right, can come with so much stress and danger to where some people may not even want to leave their house, may never want to catch the bus again. And it also points out how, sometimes you can experience something at a bus stop and nobody helps you. People look around, they think something's going on. I saw something going on, but a lot of people don't want to get involved. They don't want to help. They don't want to intervene. They don't want to have nothing to do with it. They see it happening, but they will not help you at all. Now, that's some scary stuff. That you could be in the midst of being accosted, going through something extremely dangerous, and people be in close proximity that could help, but they're afraid to, or don't want to, or don't care. Now that's something.
International Boulevard, and Oakland police believe someone knows who this guy is. Anyone who knows who he is should contact Oakland police. In Oakland, Henry Lee, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
We grew up, but tonight the front yard is where family and friends gathered for a candlelight vigil in honor of Zoe.
She was my best friend.
did everything with me. I did everything with Zoe.
Christina Hughes could barely hold back tears as she described her daughter, 16-year-old Zoe Hughes, who was shot and killed alongside her friend, Alicia Thurston.
They considered themselves cousins. They've known each other for a really long time.
Her stepfather, Thomas Augustine, and Uncle Brandon Augustine walked us through the early morning call from officials that their daughter was caught in the crossfire of 70 bullets.
We go into the hospital and we get into this room. And you know it's coming, but you just don't, you want to keep up like, good hope. No, she's not dead. She's not gone. This can't be happening.
That smile, that heart, man, that's part of our family. And they took that from us.
Christina says she has no idea how her daughter Zoe was on a party bus or how she was able to get on the bus without any identification, and is demanding the driving service be held accountable.
How did you let her on a party bus? Isn't that for 21 and over? She's not. She's 16. So that company should be at fault, too.
As candles are lit, a community gathers around a grieving mother for prayer, and balloons are released in honor of Zoe. Her family says they just want justice for their daughter.
I hope they catch who did it. I hope he pays. I hope he suffers. Like we're all suffering.
At this time, investigators have not released the name of the driving service, but police do say they do not believe this is a random shooting.
Alderman Brian Hopkins calling for that crackdown after one of those buses pulled up here last night, and soon after, 8 people were shot. This new cell phone video obtained exclusively by ABC7 appears to show the moments after someone opened fire on a crowd in Old Town overnight.
Somebody shot at LaSalle and Clark on a party bus. Let me get some more cars over here.
Police say 8 people were shot at this BP gas station in the 1600 block of North LaSalle just before midnight. The victims ages 23 to 52, one man critically injured. This party bus's windows shattered.
People started running out of the bus, screaming.
That nearby resident says there have been issues in the area before, but not on this scale. Another.
Listen, let me explain something to you. You don't know who has beef. You don't know who is funking with who. You don't know who said what to who. You don't know what the climate is. And a lot of times people will not tell you that they have some stuff going on until stuff pops off. And then here you are running and ducking and trying to find a place to protect yourself from rapid gunfire and ambush. You don't know what's going on. All you know is that you've got to try to get to safety. But you never know what type of shit the company that you are keeping or a +1 to has got going on. All you know is that you loose on the party bus. All you know is that you're about to be on a sprinter. All you know is that it's about to be all kind of stuff going on, activities and pole dancing and twerking and tweaking and all kind of stuff going on this bus while you're trying to get to your destination, but you don't know who's got beef, who is funking, who has a problem. You don't know what the setup is, what the play is, nothing. All you know is that you think that you about to get on this bus, you done paid your way, and it's about to go down. You really think that this bus is going to make it to the event, but Demon Time says otherwise. And that Demon Time, that event was planned, but the other events that took place in the midst of that event being planned, meaning what happened in the streets, what was really going on, or was it just random? Was it just a bunch of people out? Was it just a bunch of whoever's out on Demon Time felt like being ignorant, felt like being demonic, listening to some fucked off music, high on drugs, and just said, that's the target right there? What was it? You have to be very careful with the company you keep, because for somebody to fire 70 rounds, that's malicious. That is the intention to kill, to murder. Who was on the bus that you hated that much? What was the beef? Was the beef real or was it made up? Was all of this based on a lie? Was somebody gaslit? I mean, it is a tragedy. 2 young girls lost their lives, 70 rounds fired, 16-year-old. There might be some requirements to be on the bus. You know what? Let me Google this right now. I'm going to do this right now. Let me see. What are the requirements? Let me do it this way. What are the age limits to ride on a party bus? You have to be 18 to sign a legal contract. The bus company may have some policy about minors, such as they must have an adult accompanying them. And this is from Quora, and this was posted April 25th, 2023. Now, obviously, various states have various laws. For instance, in Texas, it says, can you drink on a party bus in Texas? Alcohol is permitted and you can drink on the bus. There are, however, some caveats to this rule. For example, there is to be no one under the age of 21 years on the bus should you decide to drink. So because this happened in this incident with the 70 shots fired at the party bus where the 2 young ladies were murdered, let me see what the California party bus rules are. California party bus rules. Let's see here. We almost through, y'all. I just want to see what this is. Let me type this in again. What is the age that one has to be for a California party bus? There we go. Let's see here. Pretty much the same thing as far as the drinking. Yep, must be 21, have to have an adult accompanying you. There are rules and regulations that the buses must follow. There's something called the Passenger Charter Party Carriers Act, and it requires the drivers of any, come on, pull up for me. Here we go. Let's see. It requires the drivers of any limousine or party bus to adhere to specific rules and regulations. It says here, nicotine-based vape products and pens similar to Juul, Puff, and Hype are permitted. Cannabis-based vaping devices are prohibited on party buses. Once again, must have chaperones. They have strict policies. So if there's a mixed group of both 21 and 21 on board, there's no alcohol permitted at all. So getting back to what the mother was saying, her daughter should not have been on the bus, but I wonder how she got on. Did she get on with a fake license? I don't know. I'm very interested in following up on that story, but pretty much there are rules and regulations that the party bus company must adhere to as well. So there's definitely a dual responsibility excuse me, but ultimately, we need to be very cautious about the places we go and the people who we go with. I mean that. You have to say to yourself, literally in this day and age, is it worth it? You really need to play out in your mind to the best of your ability without leaning to your own understanding, but definitely discernment. Okay. Is this event, is this party, is this mode of transportation to this event? Are these people, is this worth it? You have to do your own MRI. Who, what, when, where, why? How? You must be your own security guard. And how do you do that? With wisdom. How do you do that? With being okay with not having a whole bunch of people in your life. Always having to be with crowds, always having to go out, always having to have somebody on your side, never wanting to be alone, always being in the midst of where chaos and calamity love to kick it.
Neighbors sharing this exclusive video appearing to show first responders swarming within minutes.
They were only here for a couple of minutes milling about in the parking lot when an unidentified vehicle pulled in and immediately opened fire.
Second Ward Alderman Brian Hopkins says after watching gas station surveillance video, he believes that party bus was targeted.
It looks like the driver of the vehicle and the shooter, who was not driving the vehicle, knew exactly who they were going after.
Hopkins believes more than 30 people were on the bus last night and says the shooting victims include the bus driver, bus security guard, and an innocent bystander who just happened to be pumping gas. Chicago police say many shooting victims across the city are not helping investigators. Today, Superintendent David Brown pleading with people to speak up.
The offenders get more emboldened. They feel like they got away with something and they are encouraged to do it again.
Investigators say 2 Jeep Grand Cherokees were used in this attack, but at last word from police, no one is in custody.
Being able to pull back your sexual energy and have self-control in an area where you once didn't is an accomplishment. Being able to be focused because you are tired of the old you. Tired of the crying, tired of being disappointed, tired of being a part of the hit it and quit it, tired of the one-night stands, tired of being told that they love you when they really don't. They just wanted your sexual energy. You're also tired of telling people, no, you're not coming over and you will not be a booty call. You're serious about your celibacy. The feelings come and they go. Sometimes you're tempted and sometimes you're not. The overall objective is to remain celibate, but there are some people who don't care about your celibacy. Next on the vent session, pressed for pleasure. When your celibacy is tested, the dangers of being on demon time. Rated R for strong language, thoughts, and ideas. In the summertime, people are trying to find ways to beat the heat. They're trying to stay cool by the pool. They're not expecting their air conditioner to go out. Fish don't fry in the kitchen and beans don't burn the grill. But for some reason, you feel like you're on the menu. You're cooking. It's baking. It's day 6. You've placed several calls to the maintenance, several calls to the manager, and to the property management, and nothing is being done. You see the maintenance workers, but for some reason, there's no progress. You and the rest of the tenants have had it. You know for a fact that your rights are being violated, and these codes, they're not up to date, and there's a violation. As a matter of fact, there are several violations. You've spoken to the landlord, you've spoken to the owner of the building, and they don't understand what's going on. They're trying to fix it. There's a problem, and it can kill. Next on the Culture Climate, the tenant's nightmare. Who doesn't like to go on a shopping spree? However, there's another type of spree taking place, and it is targeting gallerias, department stores, shopping centers, and major cities. It's the shopping crime spree. What's the target? High-end fashion such as Gucci, Prada, Louis. Security is tight, surveillance is heavy. However, the grab-and-go mob mentality is overpowering all the protection of the product. People want to look good. People want to have the labels. They want to look like they're a part of the lifestyles of the rich and famous. It doesn't matter how they got it. They got it. But there is a consequence. Thou shalt not steal. Who's going to stop it? They don't care. In and out. Because if it doesn't have a label, they don't want it. Next on the Suspense Files, a cautionary tale. High-end fashion crimes. Rated R for strong language, thoughts, and ideas. You are currently listening to The Bus Stop Murders, when tragedy strikes public transportation, plus party bus nightmares on the Suspense Files, covering the who, what, when, where, why, and urban crime on the Sister Speak Show, rated R for strong language, thoughts, and ideas. Tip of the day, stay safe, keep your head on the swivel, and make it home.
Did you know that the Sister Speak Show is a syndicated podcast on Amazon Alexa and Sonos? Tell a friend. Also let them know that the show is rated R for strong language, thoughts, and ideas. Thank you for downloading each episode on demand.
What's poppin'? You are listening to the Suspense Files, covering the who, what, when, where, why, and urban crime on the Sister Speak Show Network. I am your host, Sister Speak. The time is 9:23 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm still in Dallas. Brothers and sisters, what did you think about the bus stop murders when tragedy strikes public transportation, plus the party bus nightmares? Definitely tragic, right? Makes you want to tighten up. Makes you want to sometimes it just makes you just want to, not go outside. It is something when your freedoms are compromised, right? Just the basics, especially when it comes to your mode of transportation, right? And we know that tragedy can strike on any mode of transportation. But the fact that we live in a day and age where you even have to anticipate it, that you have to keep your head on the swivel at all times, is serious. And for those of you who don't keep your head on the swivel, I would strongly advise that you do. I would strongly advise that you become unaddicted to always looking at your phone, and know that there's a time and a place where you can look at your phone. It's not that serious. There's nothing the fuck on your phone that is that serious that you need to always have your head down and in it and on it. Give your neck a break. Give your eyes a break. Give your fingers a break. Give the screen time a break. Pay attention to what is going on around you at all times when you are out and about. It is never that there's no DM, there's no email, there's nothing that is important outside of an emergency phone call that you need to be all in to your phone as if whatever is in there is going to go away. It's never that serious. There's no phone call that is that serious unless it is an emergency that you need to be on just hee-heeing and ha-haing and spilling the tea and then slopping it up and doing all these other things to where you are distracted. You all worried about what's happening on the shade room. Next thing you know, something shady finna happen to you. You need to pay attention. You better pay attention before you end up being on Crime Stoppers, crying. You need to pay attention before somebody has to set up a GoFundMe page because you're not here anymore because you don't have your head on the swivel. There is a part that you can do. Now, you're not responsible, nor can you dictate the actions of the other person, but you can show enough dictate the actions of the other person if you don't freeze and if you got some weapons on you. But you can't be afraid to use them. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. Ma'am, you had a bazooka on you. You could have taken out a whole village. I didn't want to use it. I just thought that we could just talk about it. Man, they didn't come to talk. They came to rock you. They came to knock you off of your post and take what you have worked so hard for. Use the bazooka. Don't carry the bazooka if you ain't going to use it. So you mean to tell me you had 4 grenades in your pocket and you didn't throw not one? Well, I got this little bit of arthritis in my elbow. You mean to tell me you had 4 grenades and you didn't want to throw not near one of them? You obviously have never played 007. I'm just saying. A Molotov cocktail, a dude will get him scattered. You have got to be willing to say to yourself, I am valuable, I am a commodity, and I will protect myself. I will keep my head on the swivel. I will make it home safely, Most High willing. I will put myself in a position to where I am not having to catch the bus at 4 a.m. I may have to change jobs. I may have to do something different in order to make sure that my daughter, my son, us as a unit, we as a family are not in danger. It's going to take a community effort, a village effort, in order to definitely provide solutions for the pollution. And I want you all to make it home safely. And I want you to keep your head on the swivel. And I want you to not be so caught up in your phone. I want you to be careful about, the events that you attend, who you go with, how you're getting there, who's on this bus. Are your ears to the streets? Are you aware of what's going on? Or are you just so happy to be outside? Are you doing it for the gram? Don't be reckless in your thought. Don't go chasing reckless entertainment. And please, stop hanging around reckless people. Demon time is real. Brothers and sisters, you've been listening to the Suspense Files covering the who, what, when, where, why in urban crime. I'm not going to beat this anymore. I've said everything I have to say. You've been listening to the bus stop murders when tragedy strikes public transportation, as well as party bus nightmares. I pray that your next time that you step out, that you are able to step back in. Most High willing, Most High willing. Thank you all for being a wonderful listening audience. I'm your host, Sister Speak. I pray that you sleep well. I pray that you rest well. And I pray that you continue to press forward. I pray that you are encouraged. I pray that you continue to establish your boundaries. And I pray that you continue to resist the devil so he will flee. The time has been well spent, and I will converse with you later. The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. My God, my rock in whom I take refuge, my shield and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. Blessed be the name of the Most High God and his Son, Yahushua. The Lord is. Remember that. And he is all. We rebuke the enemy. We stand firm when it comes to spiritual warfare. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. We are to fret not. Be encouraged.